What's up YouTube, ODST General back again, and today guys we're going to be playing the Napoleonic mod. Specifically it is Napoleonic Era Extended. This is available on the Steam Workshop. This has been around for quite a while. I've just never bothered to check it out. The problem is Arma is designed for modern warfare, and these guys are designed to be doing line battles. The two of them don't really go together that well, but with some work and effort, I've kind of gotten a decent battlefield set up here. I'm currently inhabiting the French general. We're going to be playing some Zeus here, but the French general tried to ride off into the sunset. Well, sunrise, I suppose. But anyways, he tried to run off, so I had to take him over. So I figured this would be a cool way to start the video. But we're using, for the general, the NASA 1715 mod and DBO horses. So there is some discrepancies as far as the uniforms go for this guy. He's not really using an accurate uniform for the time frame, but it's better looking, I think, than just some average another one of these guys, because there is no other uniforms for this mod. It's just this and the British uniforms. So each side is fielding 160 infantry, 5 cannons, and 1 general. So there is going to be a lot of action. We'll get some frame droppage here. Let's go ahead. Let's exit into Zeus mode now so we can start getting this battle underway. Now, I'm not sure who's going to win this. To be honest, I've not actually played this battle to completion because I kind of want it to be a surprise to myself too. We will see what happens. Hopefully this all goes okay and we don't run into any issues. The French are going to start moving first, and we're going to just cancel out those move orders. Hopefully our general will finally stay put here. So with the French underway, let's get the British moving, and yeah. So unfortunately these guys don't really like to stay in their line formation. They are set up on a line formation in the editor, and yeah, it's a little bit different than their default thing. That seems to actually be working a little bit better than it was before. These guys over here, they really want to go to the road for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. They're just so close to it, though, they have to run on that road. Actually, not sure. They're holding their line formation better than they were before, so I don't know. Last time they were oh, there they go. Columning up on the road. We've got a bunch of fire over here. It looks like the French are firing their muskets off. At some point here, the cannons should start shooting. Now, if this follows the trend of my last couple tests, what's going to happen is the French cannons are going to fire first. And it sounds like, yep, that's exactly what happened. They're going to fire at the British infantry, and that was a devastating volley. That's the most devastating volley I've seen from them so far. And the British cannons are going to follow suit. There they go, and they're going to fire at the French cannons. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. Now, last time they missed all their first volley, and then they ended up devastating them with their second. I don't know if that's going to happen again or not. It's hard to say. Now, the French, yeah, this could go either way. The cannons are absolutely devastating. Those cannons can definitely turn the battle. Right now, I feel like this is in the favor of the French, however. Because even though the British are targeting the French cannons, the French artillery, and that can definitely turn the tide of the battle, the French have gotten some truly devastating salvos with their cannons so far, and their infantry were firing first, and their infantry have greater numbers. Now, I don't know if what's going to happen with this. Oh, actually, wow, they didn't do this before. It looks like the French actually ended up targeting the British cannons after all, and they even killed the British general. So the British general's dead. 3 of their cannons, 3 of the 5 British cannons are dead. I really think the French is going to win this, and significantly faster than they have before. This is genuinely a shock to me. I really thought the British were going to win this just based off the way those other battles played out. I guess it probably didn't help too, because in my previous tests I had these guys automatically walking out. This time I controlled them so I could make a couple editor changes so these guys wouldn't go into a prone position to reload or take cover. They would just stay standing. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. If these guys are losing their officers, their team leaders like this guy, I don't think that's a big deal. Their guns don't seem to work properly anyways, but the muskets and stuff do. so we'll have to wait and see. Lots of fire going on here. A lot of dead French guys in the center here. Moving back, we got a couple guys who have gone down back in this second pocket of guys back here, but they're mostly doing okay. And no noticeable injuries over here. So, yeah, looking like it's in favor of the French right now. These guys have taken some losses. Of course, that big pocket of guys from that initial volley, that was an absolutely devastating volley. I don't know what's going on with the cannons back here. It looks like the rest of the British cannons were taken out. French's cannons are mostly taken out as well. There is one operational cannon still left on the French's side. He's not shooting anybody. Their general is also still up, thankfully for them. I was going to do like a morale loss type of thing or something and maybe surrender some units when the general fell, but yeah, I decided not to do that. There was a couple other mods. I'm thinking about I should have run like there's a mod I found where if the enemies overrun, they'll surrender automatically, or some of them will surrender. And I think that could have been interesting. That would have required Ace, which I think would have been fine with this. Ace could have been definitely interesting. So that might be something I'll try out as a separate video, or maybe I'll do a test run of that after this. But so far, yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. A lot of that smoke looks really cool. Doesn't stay very long. It's not quite as nice as War of Rights. If you're into this sort of game, I definitely personally recommend War of Rights. I mean, there's a few games, you've got Napoleonic War mods and like Holdfast and stuff, but I think if you're looking for like a multiplayer experience at the very least, the best way to go is War of Rights. It's a United States Civil War game, so it's set kind of close to the same time as this, a little bit later, or a little bit sooner than this. Definitely pretty interesting though. Or actually, would it be? It would be later. I'm completely turned around. I brain fart when the Napoleonic Wars took place, guys. I do apologize. Looks like the British are taking further losses over here. A few more guys falling down. Now, these weapons are pretty inaccurate, but it's Arma AI, and they can be pretty cheaty, so it doesn't necessarily matter about the inaccuracies. The British taking heavy losses on the road here. This is, of course, the initial group from that volley once again, and another group of guys have gone down over here. So yeah, I don't think this battle is going to go for the British. It could still turn around. You never know, but I really don't see that happening. The French have really only lost like this one group of guys in the center there. They lost a couple of teams of guys. I don't know what the proper term for it would be. I don't know if you call that a line of guys or what, but yeah, they've lost maybe like 2 lines. The British have probably lost like half their forces, I'm thinking now, at least. It doesn't even look like they have that. Yeah, it looks like maybe half their forces are still standing. I'm not sure if it's even that big. Oh, there goes a guy who just fell into that bush. That was pretty neat looking. Yeah, we got a team lead there. Like I said, their guns seem to be useless. I was watching them fire like point-blank range, and they just were not doing anything. And unfortunately for the British, that seems to be the majority of their guys still left on this left side as team leads. Or at least, just proportionately speaking, for how many team leads there's like a group of 10 guys, 1 team lead, so that's kind of funny. They are still holding up pretty well over here, but like I said, all things considered, how many French are still standing and everything, I really don't foresee this going towards the British. I think the British are done for, and it's just a matter of time until all of the British are done. All of them fall, they're all dead, whatever. Pretty neat looking, though. They seem to be firing both the roadside position and the guys in front of them, I think. Now, they might have a slight advantage here in this position, even though they're still going down like crazy, and they do seem to be shooting the guys on the road. These guys do have to go over a little tiny hill. It's not much, but that might be just enough to be stopping some of these French shots from going towards them, and you know, force the French to come up over the hill, giving the British a chance to shoot them, cull down their numbers some. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think this hill's maybe even providing cover. These guys are aiming and stuff, so they could potentially... Yeah, he is lined up. He could shoot a British soldier, and that actually might make it worse. That might be why these guys are going down so quickly. But like I said, they do seem to be fighting two positions. They are fighting these guys on the roadside and the guys over here right next to them. They've taken out a few more French troops, but really not that many. Not as many as you'd expect. I mean, because really it's just this row of guys right here where I'm kind of circling my mouse. Because most of these guys here were already dead. I mean, that was most of the French casualties from, like, near the start of the battle. Yeah, the British have almost completely collapsed over here, too, and I can only imagine this is even worse. This was almost completely gone last time we looked. There's a couple of holdouts over here. We've got a team leader still standing, and yeah, all of his guys are dead. And we've got like another 5 guys here or something, 4 guys. Their team lead is still standing though. He's still up. He's retreating back though. He's running away. He's had enough of that. And looks like this guy. They might all be part of the same team. That's like well, no, they've got something goofy going on with their orders here. I think this is 2 different teams. So yeah, this guy's squad lead died. His team lead died. Oh, his did too. Yeah, he's not an officer. He's just a regular guy. Yeah, he's retreating. Him and his men are getting out of there. They know they've lost. So it's just like this one team lead who's like standing out in the middle. He's like, I'm ready to fight this out, but no one else seems to be. Let's go back to the other side here. They're retreating as well, and yeah. Couple guys trying to fight it out, you know, fire and fall back. They're still inflicting some losses on the French, but it's not going to be enough. I guess they lost a few more guys a little bit further back. A lot of guys right here in the center from the French, but yeah, the losses to the British are definitely more devastating. They have a huge numbers advantage over on the road, and they've got cover. This actually ended up, I guess it ended up kind of turning around back over here. Well, the French still have a numbers advantage. The few British guys that were remaining were actually putting in some work on them. They were putting them down pretty good. I don't necessarily know that with the numbers they have left, they're going to be able to kill them, because there's only like 3, 4... Like, there's like 5 guys, but there's only like 2 of them forwards here. And yeah, they're still pretty uncoordinated. Let's go back. Let's check on the French embankments here. See how their cannons and stuff are holding up. There's one guy over here who's, or a couple guys actually, just kind of wandering around. The French general's still alive though, looking pretty good. This slick Royal Navy blues, ironically, so he's actually wearing a British uniform. And the British guy over here is like wearing like a pirate's uniform or something, but he's dead. He's gone. Yeah. So doing okay though. Couple guys back here in the embankment still, kind of hiding out. They're wanting to fight, but trying to regroup. They've actually done a pretty decent job of regrouping a few guys. What little fighting force they have left. There's still a couple guys forwards, but most of them have fallen back towards the British embankments. Those cannons for the British are still operational. They could, in theory, take them over. I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. The cannons are pretty awesome to watch, but it's that could definitely turn the tides of the battle. It seems kind of unfair. I wish they would just kind of like automatically go like, oh hey, this is empty, should take it over. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if we can get you guys into the embankment here. Let's try and get you guys all back over here. Get your squads and everything else.
On the way.
And we'll regroup you guys. And you guys are doing okay for the most part. Let's have you continue to push up though. Let's get these other guys over here. So yeah, we'll try and kind of recombine these forces here, get rid of a lot of the skirmishing, and see if we can't just make like one big force. So we'll have all the British guys reinforce at their embankments, rally up over there, and hopefully be able to make something of a fighting force, get some fire down on these French troops over here, and vice versa, same thing on the French's side. Get them all to rally up together. They do have a superior fighting force, superior numbers, so we'll try to get them all to gather up and push up on the British position, see how that goes. Yeah, British, though, definitely took some heavy losses. They did end up turning the battle a little bit better than I expected they might have. I really thought this was just going to end up being complete shutout. They have managed to take out a number of French soldiers, but definitely not what I think they're going to need to take the battle. The middle was pretty devastating for both sides. I mean, both sides' embankments, their cannons are pretty much gone, but the French do have a lot of guys still just kind of hanging back in their base. Not really doing much. Trying to get them to go forward a little bit. And let's have you guys push up on the British position, I guess. Just push straight in and see what happens. They can run and reload because, once again, it's Arma. I guess that's something that you could probably disable with scripting. I'm sure there's scripting you could do for Arma to keep these guys in like line formations or keep them from moving and firing. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have it, unfortunately. It's still kind of fun. I mean, if you don't have like Napoleonic games, you don't have something like Empire at War, or you don't have War of Rights, or similar games to this. This could be kind of a decent trade-off. It's a little bit more liberal with the scenarios you can create. You get a lot more freedom of control, obviously, with it being Arma. But it does have its flaws. It's definitely not perfect, unfortunately. Let's see if we can get the horse to leave here. The horse is still alive amazingly. I don't know if you can even kill the horse. The horse and the general are dead. He's going to ride off with the dead general. Because why not? There's a little bit of cover over here. I've placed down a couple barrels. They weren't really intended to be cover, but they could be used that way. They should probably eat a few shots up, but with these guys not, with them going into a standing-only formation, I don't know if they're going to bother to make use of that. The French now lined across pretty much the entire battlefield. A little bit of a gap in the middle here. Most of them centered up on the road, but looks pretty devastating. And all that smoke. The British, you still got the puffs of smoke coming. I mean, it's pretty consistent fire rate, especially from here in the center for them, but it's not anywhere near as massive as all the smoke coming down. That's basically just like one constant plume of smoke over there. Like here, it's kind of volleyed, it's like smoke, clears out, a couple poofs of smoke, clears out a couple poofs, so on and so forth. I mean, all these guys are firing. They've got really long-range shots, but just not going to be enough to do anything. It can't be. There's no way that they could turn this around. We're about probably about 20 minutes or so into the battle here, give or take. The French have probably taken a couple more losses. Actually, nope. Those are British. They're getting over to the where the British were initially. Yeah, all these guys along in here are British, and of course all those guys are British. So we're all dead with that first cannon volley. I really almost think that was the big tiebreaker right off, is just all these guys pretty much died from that first cannon volley. That was absolutely devastating. Had the British been able to take out the French cannons and stay operational, maybe it would have gone differently, but as it stands right now, the French still have operational cannons, and the British have none. Well, the cannon singular, I should say. I don't know why he's not shooting. Might not be able to see the French positions from where he's at. Give him an attack order, see if that helps. I don't think it's going to. So let's do this. Let's remote control you, because really, honestly, you should be firing. And we're going to get you out of there. We're going to see if... it could be that he's worried he's lined up with his own soldiers and he doesn't want to shoot or something, maybe. Out of fear of hitting them as they move forwards. Let's move him down to this one on the end of the lineup. That's the cannon's disabled. Most of these might be disabled now that I think about it, actually. So let's try that. Let's see. We'll put him on the second to the end. Yeah, that's that one's still operational. That one's broken. Well, it took its hit. That one's broken. So most of their cannons are still operational, the majority of them. What about for the British? The British only have actually one disabled cannon. All the others are damaged, but still operational otherwise. But the British positions being close to being overrun, they've only got a handful of guys left here, so I think this battle's pretty much done. I think it's fair if we tell these guys to retreat. So I'll tell them to retreat back, I guess, the closest town. So they're gonna fall back. They're gonna continue to fire because it's Arma's AI, you know, and they're gonna continue to take shots as they retreat to cover their retreat. Let's see here. I mean, they are set to full sprint and everything. I don't know if there's much I could do. They're set to combat. Could send them to safe. They might quit firing. They might not. I'd probably have to set them to careless or something in the editor to get them to properly retreat like that. Single team leader and you know, an infantryman with him. He's got looks like he's got more of a squad. He's got a line going back here somewhere. I don't know what's going to. There's, yeah, this guy like right here. He's like way back with everybody else. These guys are like pushing forwards. They want some British blood. Unfortunately, there is a couple guys still fighting. They are ordered to go back to the town, but they're staying to fight instead. Their general's gone. They're not going to follow orders. They have their British pride to hold out, so they're going to fight to the last, and it looks like it's probably not going to be too long until the last of them is fighting. We've got 5 survivors of this battle. Looks like one team, well, not necessarily team lead, he's a rifleman, but the new team lead and like one random rifleman are like moving off on their own. What's left of 1-4, he's got a command order to, I guess that's probably maybe his last team lead or something that hasn't shifted. So yeah, 5 survivors. The French have officially killed the last of the British while we were looking at the other guys running off, retreating. I should have been watching the battle. Yeah, the French won. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, guys. I definitely didn't know who was going to win this. Like I said, I wanted it to be a surprise to me, too, so I could have a little bit genuine of a reaction. So going like, oh, yeah, I had no idea the French were going to win. But yeah, that was crazy. That initial salvo, I really think that was a big turning point. A couple of French soldiers did die over here, but they almost quit taking losses completely by the time they got up here. Yeah, that initial salvo was so bad, though. It just killed so many guys. Barely any losses over here on the road, though. That's kind of surprising. Like, I know that that's probably because like half the guys got killed with that initial salvo, but you'd think even then that they would have taken more losses over on this road. They had a little bit more hard cover with the trees, I guess, maybe, than the British. The British just had these this fence line and these bushes for cover, and that's not necessarily going to stop anything, especially Arma AI. But you know, I don't know. I'm still surprised that the British didn't incur quite as much damage over there. These guys probably would have held out a little bit better, except for because that side got hit and fell, and these guys were just laying down fire not only on them, but over here as well. So these guys were getting laid on it from two directions because they're having to fight these guys here and these guys over here. And it's not quite a complete flank, but it was enough to, you know, double the firepower on them and keep them, you know, in a position where they're not in any cover at all. So we've got dead guys over here. So, I mean, the French were kind of along this whole way for a while. But, you know, they're just over here shooting down on the British position, like right over there. It's a long ways off. Like I said, they were slowly moving up. I mean, you could tell that fire was getting more accurate, more deadly. Especially as these guys died and got thinned out. That just got worse for these guys over here. They did, like I said, they did put some work in the center. I mean, this is pretty much all from the British infantry. I don't think the cannons really did anything to the French infantry at all. They basically took out most of the French embankments over here. They killed, you know, the French cannons. Except for the one. The general was still alive though. All the British cannons went down. Their general went down. So I think we're gonna have our general come over here for victory lap, and we're gonna end the video, guys. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this, guys. This was actually a fun change of pace from you know, kind of the standard Arma content. There's quite a few mods kind of like this, where it's a lot of older units and stuff that you don't necessarily see used a whole lot in a modern scope or a lot of videos, so might be something we do more of. Guess that just kind of depends on what your guys' thoughts are on that. The French general's having some issues. Just kind of going back across the tree line. Let's do this. Now, like I said, DBO horses does not like Zeus control on the general. Like, you can control the horse if you're in standard mode, but like otherwise you can't. So you actually have to control the horse directly. So we're going to pretend I'm the general and not the horse in this instance, and we're just going to do our victory lap, as it were, across the battlefield to congratulate our men on their overwhelming victory. I would call it overwhelming. I mean, the French had losses, but nothing like what the British incurred. Not even close. Got a couple of British guys surveying the battlefield, I guess maybe like looting the dead bodies or something, I don't know. Mainly that one guy, or maybe he's so sad because he lost his best friend, who knows. Who knows. Over here, of course, more British bodies. I actually kind of like that there's just like these random stragglers now. It's obnoxious when you're fighting, you want these guys in tight line formations, but like with the battle over, it looks like there's just groups of guys surveying the battlefield, you know. He's actually limping. He got injured at some point, so he took a hit and survived. Yeah, so they did a good job, though. Well, I don't know. Not quite as many people on the French side survived as what I thought initially, but there's guys going back further. It looks like they're pretty set on hunting down what's left of the British here, so who knows. Alright guys, well, I think that's our video for today. Let's see how our guys did back here. It looks like they managed to escape into the town, and they're going to, I guess, blend in or do whatever to survive. I don't know. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.